Hey there, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Chronicles US. And today we're diving into something that goes way deeper than surface-level attraction. We're talking about the kind of presence that sticks in a woman's mind long after the date ends. The kind that makes her think about you without even realizing it. Now I've seen plenty of videos out there trying to turn this topic into a game, teaching tactics that feel more manipulative than meaningful. That's not my style. What I want to share with you today are subtle but powerful ways to naturally spark that connection without pretending to be someone you're not or forcing a vibe that isn't real. This isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up in a way that feels genuine and confident. Because when attraction is built on authenticity, it tends to last, and yes, it tends to stay on her mind. Let's break down a few key shifts that'll help you stand out, for the right reasons. Point 1. Be attentive. Let's kick things off with something that might sound simple but carries a lot of weight. Being attentive. One of the most powerful things you can do is truly pay attention, not just nod along, but actually hear her. When a woman talks to you and you remember the little things she says, her favorite coffee order, something she mentioned about her childhood, that random goal she has for next year, it sends a clear message. I see you, I care enough to remember. And here's why it matters. Women are wired to notice detail, so when you mirror that attentiveness, it really stands out. It's not about being over the top, it's about being genuinely present in the moment. If your conversations always skim the surface, they're going to fade from memory fast. But when you're engaged, when you're curious, thoughtful, and not just waiting for your turn to talk, that interaction becomes meaningful. And meaningful moments, they stick. Pro tip: bring something up from your last conversation when you're texting her or hanging out again. Even a small callback to something she said will catch her attention in the best way. If you're unsure how to start having those deeper talks, I actually did a whole video on building great conversations with women. You might want to check that out after this. So again, be mentally there, not just physically. Listen more, talk with purpose, and show her you're tuned in. That kind of presence doesn't go unnoticed. Point 2. Independence is magnetic. If there's one thing that quickly turns interest into indifference, it's neediness. Being overly available, constantly texting, or seeming like you don't have much going on outside of her, that's a fast way to make someone pull back. What truly pulls someone in, especially women, is a man who's grounded in his own life. You've got your own rhythm, your own goals, your own passions, and that self-sufficiency, it radiates confidence. When you're living with purpose, chasing the things that light you up, spending time on your hobbies, building your own future, you become more than just interesting. You become someone she wants to be around. Not because you need her, but because you're already fulfilled, and she adds to that. And here's the thing. Women pick up on that energy quickly. It's attractive when you're good at something and genuinely passionate about it. It tells her you have depth, that you're not just drifting, you're driven. One way this shows up: boundaries. Having your own schedule and sticking to it doesn't make you less available. It actually makes your time more valuable. Say you're juggling work and a side project, but you carve out Friday evening just for her that says, I'm busy, but I want you in my life. It creates a balance, and balance is what healthy attraction thrives on. Don't drop everything at a moment's notice. That might look sweet in a movie, but in real life, it often signals insecurity or overinvestment too early. Instead, show that your life is full and you're choosing to make space for her in it. So whether it's setting limits with your time, holding to your routines, or simply sticking to your priorities, those boundaries show strength. And strength, it's unforgettable. Point 3. Gentleman moves that stick with her. Let's talk about something that might feel old school, but trust me, it leaves a lasting impression: being a true gentleman. In a world where many people have forgotten the little gestures, doing something thoughtful, like opening a door or offering your jacket when she's cold, speaks volumes. It's not about being flashy or trying to impress her with money or status. It's about small, respectful actions that show you care. And here's the thing, those little moments, they stay with her. I'll share a personal story. On one of my very first dates with my boyfriend, it was a chilly day, and we had to walk a bit to get to the coffee shop. Without hesitation, he handed me his scarf. 3 years later, I still have that scarf, and more importantly, I still remember how that simple gesture made me feel. It wasn't about the scarf, it was about the thought behind it. When a man notices her comfort, her needs, even the unspoken ones, it creates a sense of safety and warmth. And that kind of emotional imprint is something women don't easily forget. So don't underestimate the power of small acts of kindness. Being a gentleman isn't outdated, it's rare, and rarity. That makes you memorable. Point 4. Compliments that go deeper. Let's be real. If you're out with an attractive woman, chances are she hears you're beautiful on a regular basis. That kind of compliment? It tends to blend in with the noise. What actually grabs her attention, and stays with her, is when you notice something others don't, something beyond how she looks. The compliments that leave an impact are the ones rooted in who she is. Maybe it's the way her energy lights up a room, how passionately she talks about her favorite topic, or how she makes people around her feel heard. Instead of saying, "You look amazing," say something like, "I love how your energy makes everything feel more alive," or "I really admire how driven you are." Those words stick because they're unexpected and real. And just to be clear, I'm not saying don't compliment her looks at all. A genuine compliment is always nice. But when you're able to go beyond the surface, it shows that you're paying attention to her as a person, not just a pretty face. I've seen this myself. Some of the comments that truly stay with me aren't about my appearance. They're about how I explain something, or the way I speak, or how thoughtful a point was in a video. That kind of feedback feels more meaningful, and it's honestly more flattering. So next time you're with someone, listen a little deeper. Compliment the things that most people overlook. That's how you make her feel seen, and that's what makes you unforgettable. Point 5. Shared firsts create lasting sparks. There's something special about doing something for the first time, especially when you're sharing that moment with someone new. It adds a spark that routine just can't offer. Falling into a dating rhythm isn't bad. Routines feel safe, but if every date feels like a copy of the last one, things start to blur together. That's why breaking out of the usual pattern is such a powerful way to deepen a connection. So try this. Plan something unexpected. Maybe it's a cooking class neither of you has tried. Maybe it's a hike with an amazing view, or checking out a quirky event in your city. Whatever it is, when you're both a little out of your comfort zones and discovering something together, it builds chemistry fast. You're not just going on a date, you're creating a memory. That's what she's going to think about later. And here's another layer. Spontaneity. Being able to pivot and keep the energy going when a date's going well. Incredibly attractive. I remember one of my favorite dates ever started as a simple brunch, but he suggested we keep going and explore a street fair nearby. That unplanned second half of the date made it unforgettable. You don't have to plan wild adventures or over-the-top surprises. Just show that you're present, playful, and willing to lead the way when the moment calls for it. That kind of flexibility makes her feel like she can relax and trust you, which only strengthens the attraction. So go create new stories together. Because shared experiences, especially the fun and unexpected kind, tend to live rent-free in the mind and in the heart. All right, guys, that wraps up the 5 real, genuine ways to leave a lasting impression. The kind that doesn't rely on tricks or tactics, just authentic connection. I know there's a lot of content out there trying to turn attraction into a game, but honestly, you don't need to manipulate someone to get them to like you. When you focus on showing up as the most confident, grounded version of yourself, the kind of person who listens, who leads with purpose, who notices the little things, that's what really makes you stand out. If you've been struggling to figure out how to connect with someone or make a great first impression, these 5 shifts are a strong place to start. They're simple, real, and they work because they come from a place of authenticity. If you found this helpful, do me a favor, tap that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and let me know in the comments which of these stood out the most to you. Thanks again for spending a few minutes with me. I'll catch you in the next one.